We meet the heir Matthew and his mother Isobel. Robert gives them a house closer to the estate with a bunch of servants, but Matthew doesn't like having a valet, a butler, a housemaid, and a kitchen maid. Matthew just wants his normal life back, with a cook and a maid, just like the rest of us. Isobel is more or less ambivalent to the idea of her son becoming an earl. Just as Matthew is complaining about his new life and the injustice he's suffering and Robert going to push one of his daughters at him, Lady Mary walks in.
Really going to push one of the daughters at me? They'll have fixed on that when they heard I was a bachelor.
Lady Mary Crawley.
I do hope I'm not interrupting.
Invites them for dinner and leaves. It's really embarrassing and Matthew goes to apologize to Mary and she makes her feelings on the matter clear.
Lady Mary, I hope you didn't misunderstand me. I was only joking.
Of course. And I agree. The whole thing is a complete joke.
The dinner they invited to is awkward. I mean, Robert, Cora, and the girls are accommodating enough, but Granny Violet, yeah, I don't think so.
What should we call each other?
Well, we could always start with Mrs. Crawley and Lady Grantham.
Come into the drawing room and we can make all the proper introductions.
Robert intends to involve Matthew in running the estate, but there's a little hiccup. Matthew has a job at a firm in Ripon.
A job?
Job? Did he just say you had a job?
But it's all good because Matthew says he can work during the weekends. Matthew isn't the only one with something to do. As Isobel starts busying herself at the hospital Robert is the president of. It makes sense. Her father, her brother, and her husband were doctors, and she is a nurse too. And apparently the head doctor over there thinks she's great. Downstairs, everyone isn't happy about the new CRAWLEYS. Mr. Carson isn't, Miss O'Brien isn't. Others are ambivalent. Just as O'Brien is ranting about how middle-class Isobel and Matthew are, Cora walks in.
Anyone thinks I'm going to pull my forelock and curtsy to this Mr. Nobody from nowhere?
O'Brien!
Were you discussing Mr. Crawley?
This is really embarrassing for her, getting chastised like a child in front of everyone. But you know what? I do not care. She is an awful person and I loved watching her getting humbled. While Robert has never considered breaking the entail to give Mary her mother's money, Violet and Cora, who have been fighting to make Mary an heiress, are now thinking of a new way of securing that bag for her. You guessed it, marrying Matthew. Mary obviously is not happy about this. Okay, I get that Mary is a snob and does think Matthew is somehow beneath her, but I do feel for her a lot here. Just because she's a girl, she cannot inherit her parents' money, was almost forced to marry a second cousin precisely because of this, and now she has a family push some fourth cousin at her. During dinner, she finally brings her claws out and dials up the snobbery. She brings up the tale of Andromeda, a princess who was chained to a rock by her father Cephas to appease a sea monster, Cetus, to stop the famines in their country. She was eventually rescued by Perseus. She's definitely not being subtle here. She's the princess, her father is Cephas, Matthew is the sea monster, and some unknown suitor will be Perseus. But Matthew isn't going to take this lying down.
The sea monster didn't get her, did he?
No. Just she was rescued.
By Perseus.
That's right. Perseus. Son of a god. Rather more fitting, wouldn't you say?
That depends. I'd have to know more about the princess and the sea monster in question.
Carson, the butler, is seen doing some shady stuff by Anna and Bates who do not question him. We finally find out what's really been going on when this guy pulls up at their door. He's rude and entitled and proceeds to make himself at home until Robert arrives. Carson also arrives and tries to take him away, but Robert stops him.
You know this man. We were a double act. On the Alls. You were on the stage? Carson, is this true?
So this is why Carson was trying to hide this guy. Acting or performing for the public was looked down upon because this sort of work was associated with prostitution and the lower class, and respectable people would never engage in this sort of work. Giggs uses this to blackmail Carson, forcing him to steal from the kitchens and to shelter him, which is what Bates and Anna saw. But now he's come to Downton because Carson won't give him any money. So Robert offers him some money with a clause.
When I have given you £20, you will leave Downton immediately, and we will never set eyes on you again.
If you return to this area, I will personally ensure your conviction for theft and blackmail.
I don't know why he looks so offended. Like, what did you think was going to happen? Meanwhile, at the village hospital, Isobel is trying to get Dr. Clarkson to try a new form of treatment. A patient, John Drake, is suffering from dropsy of the heart. It's usually fatal, but Isobel recommends a treatment, draining the pericardial sac of its fluid and administering adrenaline. The treatment is relatively new, which is why Dr. Clarkson is so hesitant. Isobel doesn't want to take no for an answer and finally persuades the doctor to go through with it. Not all people are persuaded though. As soon as Grandma Violet hears that Isobel is about to get her way, she rushes to the hospital, trying to stop this from happening. Mrs. Drake, however, is all for her husband surviving and lets the doctor go through with it.
As president of this hospital, I feel I must tell you, I shall bring this to the attention of the board.
The procedure is a success, but given Violet's threats, the doctor goes to Robert, who's like, you know what, my mother has had her way for far too long and maybe we should take her down a peg. So, as the patron, he makes Isobel the chairman. Everyone, including the servants, are invited to watch the ceremony.
Certainly I'm going. I want to see the old bat's face when they announce it. I must try not to look too cheerful. Or shouldn't I talk like that in your presence?
I had no idea Mrs. Hughes didn't like Violet. It's nice seeing a servant, unlike Carson, who isn't so blindly devoted to these people. So I like Matthew and Isobel enough. He's a good person who values his work and sticks to his morals. If I were to split hairs in pursuit of being himself and not letting anyone change him, he does not let Molesley do his work. I understand why it would be pretty weird to be dressed by someone when you're not used to it, but let that poor man do his job. In the end, Robert does correct him, so everything is fine, I guess. Isobel is just as spirited as her son, as we saw with the whole dropsy patient thing, which brings me to my next point. Violet seems to hate Isobel's guts or something in these first few episodes. Spoiler, they do become friends, but her dislike of Isobel seems a lot to me since she gets along with Matthew just fine. Let me know what you guys think. I love how we got to see Mr. Carson's past. We always see him being this super uptight person who makes sure that everybody around him toes the line. It's nice to see Mr. Carson is just as human as everyone else, dancing and all. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more videos. Check out my other video if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.